This one is sort of a funny one to read just because I have to try to do an Israeli accent, which is I'm really bad at. But
let's read this one.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
If you don't want to.
No, I'll do it. Okay. It's, oh, okay, we're running, okay. Well,
okay,
anyway,
let's not. So
let's not read it. Anyway, this is just basically about this guy that I met, and, one of the things that my mom, we love Israel, etc. But one of the things is, there's this, I think there is this attitude, which I didn't realize is actually pretty widespread, but, there's this thing about Israeli men versus American Jewish men, and there's just a difference. It's like a different kind of thing. And so, because they're like Middle Eastern European-style Jews, which is like a total new thing. And I think that there's a thing for Israeli men with kind of ditzy, what they perceive as like, sheltered American Jewish girls. And so I met this man at a party, and he was wearing a choker and like a tie-dyed shirt, and he was Israeli, and he said that he went to college in New Jersey, and I just figured I don't know where he went. I just figured I just assumed that he was like this silly Israeli, like, trans-loving himbo guy. And he was, but he was also getting his PhD in economics at Princeton, which I didn't know at the time. But, and he thought that I was like this American, jappy, kind of silly, silly girl. And in a way I am, but also in a way I'm very serious. And so this comic was sort of about our doomed romance based on our mutual low expectations and stereotypes of each other. So this at the bottom, this is him pretending that he's giving me some tickets to go see Prince, but then actually stuffing them back in his wallet.
Did you say that one in an Israeli accent?
Yep. I'm taking my best friend, Tomeo, to see Prince.
Excellent.
Pretty cool. And then we had a date. We rode around on his motorcycle, which I was like, woo, I'm on a motorcycle with this hot Israeli guy, riding across the bridge, and it was this romantic night, and we went to Florent, and it was all, we were in New York, which was really fun for me, because I was drawing this in my, garage apartment in Santa Rosa to think about New York. But then at the end, it turned out that he was totally nervous and freaked out about the motorcycle ride, because being on a motorcycle is dangerous. So he just had like a totally different attitude than I thought he had. But, yeah.
And I like this. I mean, I love the way you drew the bridge. I just thought that, I really felt your longing for New York in this one, even though, he's a douchebag.
Yeah, he, we went our separate ways, and it worked. And, it's funny because a lot of people wanted to see what happened next, and it just was like, obviously it didn't work out.
There's no next.
But I hoped to convey like the missed connection that we had in this strip. And I think New York is a good place for that, because you can be a different person in New York than you are in other places. You can be some kind of like hotshot museum professional. You can, even though my coworker's like, what? I don't know. But then as soon as you move to Santa Rosa, you're just like Trevor's girlfriend, and nobody knows, and nobody cares who you are or what you've done or anything. So that's it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Should we do the questions?
Yeah. Okay. So we could do question and answer if anyone has any questions. No. Nobody has any questions. You could ask me one question.
We'll ask you more questions. If anybody wants, if you think of a question. Oh, was that again?
No. It's a scratch.
Okay. It's like bidding at an auction. I was going to ask you about your relationship with your sister. I have 2 daughters, and I see how intense that is, but I didn't have a sister, so this is all new to me. And so I read the book with such interest in sort of that, I did feel around the edges of the book the intensity of the relationship. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, my sister and I are really different. We have really different personalities, and I think we both kind of wish that we were closer, but we just bother each other too much, and like we have these really touching, close times when we hang out, and then I'll say something that's just like totally the wrong thing, and she'll go ballistic on me, or she'll say something that I've forced, and like now I'm just like, oh, that's just what she says, but it's like we don't totally get each other. We're really opposite, and so you know, one of the things that I try to do in the strips is write about the people in my life, but, I mean, I love my sister, so I'm not just going to, like, slam her in my comics. It seems really indulgent, and it doesn't really serve any purpose other than to just make fun of her. So, you know, what I'm hoping to do with these is, you know, not to sound too lofty, you know, but I'm trying to learn how to not only, you know, it's like figuring out how to present the people in my life through comics sort of forces me to figure out how to navigate those relationships, because all people are really complicated, and, you know, you're not going to get along with everybody, and some people are going to have just really offensive ideas and attitudes, like I feel like, you know, my sister does, and she feels like I do. But ultimately, you know, like, you know, even though moments in life aren't permanent, you know, you only have one chance, and it's like, I only have one chance to, like, present this thing, and I don't know, I just sort of, she's a really good, she's really supportive of my work, and she doesn't mind however I've presented her, and, you know, considering how I feel like I have shown her in some of her worst moments, she's really fine with it. So I'm sort of lucky in that quality in her. But she is a really great subject, because she is someone that is it's really easy for me to offend her, you know, and it's really easy for me to get her wrong. And but at the same time, she's this close person that knows me longer than anybody.
Yeah. Have there ever been moments, you know, writing autobiographically that you've been like, I would love to use this moment, and I know I can't?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
That's why I think people often don't appreciate that autobiographical writing is difficult, because it's not like you're just spewing your life onto the page.
Right.
You're crafting it.
Yeah, there's like this whole idea of confessional comics, and, you know, like, like, confessional is in your diary, you know, like, when you're doing comics for people to read, you know, nobody wants to read I mean, diaries are interesting if you're nosy or, you know, curious about a particular person, but ultimately it's like it's not for you, you know, like, it's not for your eyes.